Hi guys, and welcome to the Rainbow Six Replays YouTube channel. Today, we want to present the video highlights of the match between FURIA Esports and RazaH Company during the Six Invitational 2025. Want to remind that you have opportunity to support the channel on the Patreon page. Find the link in the description or in the comments. Enjoy.
He is taking the first bit of damage, but Herds is trying to step himself into an opening engagement cut off.
1vx or 2vx, he's always been part of it. Anyway, Execute is starting to come through as FlashTree does find nades. Suddenly they're finding themselves in the middle of the site. However, some of these FNATs are slowing them down, buying some time for KZ to lean back into the fight and finding a double kill to equalize the man count.
Well, this is it, fighting their way back and forth. Philippox and JV92, suddenly all that's left, and another E1D will make things a bit awkward, but what a catch! You know a player's going to be in that position, and they are just absolutely ran out of town. Leaving Philippox alone, and there's still a lot of utility here. It's in the pocket to Paceto to try and get this plant. We hear the smoke canister go, a crossfire, and a strong opening round.
Because there's a drone. And you see Live now rotating up. He's already been huge here before. Finds the very first kill, but a Frostmat will secure him right afterwards. They need to be quick on the confirm because he picks himself up again.
That's it, the swing round, and it's traded back and forth. A very good double down here from KZ. Gets himself not three. They stem the bleeding, and both teams get a second to breathe, but with Border, you never know when that's going to be instantly ripped away from you there. Still trying to steady on some control here of the verticality, but again, the cost of what's been lost! Paceto threw himself in, but he was within the sort of breach.
But Nade, with the Nitro cells, not going to find anything for his efforts, but they do know he's around now, and Paceto will be found as a kick cooldown as well.
Yeah, kick goes down, Paceto's playing time. There's a lot here for SDK and FlashTree to try and get themselves loaded up together. And Nade is just hanging around in break. Again, he's playing this pressure. They have to say this is a 2 versus 1 engagement. They should be able to confirm the trade, whatever happens, but if they can get it more direct, then that'll be perfect for them. Now, 30 seconds, and look at this position. They're well aware of it. They've recollected the kit. It's a massive fight to win out Philippox, but they're going to plant. FlashTree realizes he can try and get this secured, and Philippox opts to try and take the fight flat as well. He's getting himself the brawl, and Philippox clutches it out. Top still hasn't really been moved away. Think about where these players started. They finally find the end of Philippox, who was at the bottom of the stairs up towards the top, and they can get themselves in the building. East stairs falls under tentative control here, but KZ, with that Kiva, has a bit more safety. Hux moves and finds a new dangerous location. If it's gone uncontested and unknown, it can be pretty deadly. There's one. Can he swing onto the second? He knows that there's this pressure behind him, and he knows Herds has the support. There's a hop in. The Goo Mines will give the game away, so Paceto tucks to try and pull it out, but 15 seconds. Does he even really have the time here? KZ gets caught. Goes down. There's another. As Perez drives on towards Fountain, they can see the site. They can see a player shutting it back and forth. The 1 versus 1. Surely they go for the kill. The C4 is the connection. JV92. He throw himself in here. Obviously, they've lost the glass, and the lineup with the utility combination is a bit of a big cost here, but Perez takes the head off of Herds. Once again, trading out those down to a nade. And there, the smoke canister right on where they're trying to plant. They've got to try and shuffle their way out. 40 seconds, and Perez takes the head off of Philippox, who wanted a second. KZ, all that's left. They might not know about nade. They might not know that he's dropped down, and oh, he's waiting, timing it, hoping that he can get an angle. But there's the cover, there's the fight. It's so narrow. They come off the plant. They know they should just go for the kill, and they get it. And yet, both these teams' performances at this at Invitational has been phenomenal. The swing out there, KZ, it's the opener, and low
in the meantime, but it's Herds that is holding on. Oh dear, Live, KZ goes and finds Live as he walks into the balcony, and now, well, FlashTree, it's up to you to try and break this open as he's putting up the pressure. The Claymore will stop him from running out unless he gets shot. Oh. But KZ has just gone unchecked, finds himself a 4th kill as well. And now there's only one left to find for the ace.
I mean, all from the same position as well. Herds means the ace isn't locked out, but they're going to hope to do is just absolutely explode in towards Sandwich Window, in towards the Armory site, and blind them out. They've moved away. There's the C4 onto SDK, caught the player as well. The kit's cold, so now They got to try and pick it up and make that motion. They're in, they're out. JV92 has to cover onto Flash3, the Glaz. Able to find the head in response, but that is a lot of thrown utility and not the result they're after. They need to try and find one more kill here, and they don't get it. The cover's good from Fountain and Felipox. Just said, you know, it was across the two sites, and, well, you come in, we knock you right back out. A minute, and Basetto gone, leaving just the Deimos, who was the man underneath.
This position where Felipox is playing now, KZ was playing their last round. It is such a trouble point for the side of RazaH Company. They keep losing too many players to that position in general. And the kill wasn't actually on SDK, it was on Flash. He was going in sandwich window. Like, I think they tried to go for a bit of a bait and switch, maybe see, like, hey, we're going to do an archives plan, but actually, we're going to see if we can get it in on the opposite side of the map. He's being challenged now. KZ is trying to go for a bit of an ego swing. He heard that drop, that's for sure. Definitely will hear the AK firing. He's just doing a bit of a jiggle swing. Gets a bit of damage done to Perez, but, oh, who's going to win this one? That's going to be the big question, it's KZ.
Well, he said they were two players to watch, and leave gadgetry has been a big part of RazaH's play, and, well, there's just nowhere to go here. They're trying to get the trade out. SDK's looking for the engagement. He's being droned out. They know fully where he is, and they just shut him down. That's 2 quick kills. The risks they were taking, sometimes one as well managed. They've definitely improved on that. As Perez tears off Herds. They've made sure that the positions they have more to offer them. And there's 2 right back in. Felipox caught as well, and Patience has netted huge rewards here. FURIA got 2. RazaH, I'm going to say they relaxed, but they were resilient. They made sure that they couldn't get anything else. The positional play here, and now the support. They've gone under. They've got the kid elsewhere. They're going for the 2 versus 1 in this situation. Shows the growth of this roster throughout this tournament.
Well played there, but a set of
and get rid of things. The Goo-Mine, the C4, all used, all utilized. But if it turns into just a swing fight, it's going to be very tricky to get this locked in. You can see the positions. You know, one of them not too far away on the swing from the detention jail side. Nade with the hop out. JV92 does get live. Felipox goes down. They're swinging and just trying to find the fight.
No,
he's got to pull the Goo-Mine out. Can he plant? No!
It was 2! The E1Ds are going to be calling the start of this push.
Well, they're in and they're out immediately. C4 in the cover of the man who could see everything that was happening, and, well, it spiraled as the rush did once upon a time for a different team. No, it wasn't really a rush. This has just crumbled on landing. They don't even get the consolation at the top of East, leaving JV92 in an ace or nothing situation. Now he's got a player in Armory that's going to get the kill anyway. A flawless push as all remaining FURIA players are lining up to push through office as Basetto goes aggressive. All caught out though. Felipox gets the cross and gets himself in, and there's Nade finding another. Now they've been able to have man advantage before, and they've slipped away as it did on their opening attack. So with 30 seconds, can they try and find a formula? No. There is another body gone. Perez steps his way in and then rotates right back out. An explosion doesn't quite rock the player, but JV92 on 1 and live with the shotgun. Round the corner, gets 1, gets traded. 2 versus nobody, and finally FURIA. The Blitz shuffling and sort of shuddering his way. Does get knocked and then gets dropped. SDK again, but 2 quick responses. Flash3 and Perez, and now they find live as well. A 4 versus 2 becomes a 3 as SDK doing his best to hold on. A risky play, but one that's paid off there. E1D pops. KZ's on the hunt. He's trying to find something in return. There's a player coming in from the side of Customs. Is he aware? Yes, he is. Finds the kill beautifully onto Basetto. Now SDK, the last man standing in a 1v3. They think they have site control, but they have no clue how close SDK is. He finds one, not the second though, as Hurt shuts him down. Kill game is still KZ's to control at a 2.0. It's a sneaky bit of pressure that gets punished. SDK caught out by JV92. They're laying traps and executing them perfectly. There goes Perez as well. And here, have they just run out of time live? Decapitated by Herds, and Flash3 removes him from existence in response. Basetto's being called out on a drone. Isn't going to opt for the hatch rotate yet. Still 2 minutes. They need to try and contest this. If they can get 1 on a fadeaway, it's huge. And Well, you can see that Passetto's just trying to weigh up his options, but they're around him, they're behind him, and it doesn't really matter. Flastry's been able to come up and get some support in here, a 3 versus 2, but it is just Flastry left. He has had some huge clutches for RazaH on their drive towards this series, drive throughout this tournament, but FURIA.
That counts right now.
That's it. That's that one. That's that point, and that's that moment here. Obviously, we're talking about how these two teams know each other, and the fact that that was obviously FURIA's map plays into that as an engagement. But from how things have split, you look at, say, the first upper bracket game they had against Shopify. RazaH won the first map, lost the second map. You look at how they got themselves in against Virtus.pro. They lost the first, those direct drives, and I think from that point onwards, they were trying to get themselves a bit more comfortable, and they moved away from it anyway. So, I guess maybe try and go for a sneaky plant on the side of the chassis. They're spraying through, and they're actually just in the middle. The C4 is perfect, though. Played it safe. The fire was there, and it was a good idea from RazaH to try and move against expectation, but it has unfortunately fallen a bit short. 15 seconds. Has to recollect the gadget, hit the mirror window, go close. There's another spray around the side, but a trade out. The body balance is in their favor. They've just got to try and play this time perfectly. There's the lockdown.
Because everybody's playing it.
No, but this is specifically their number. And this is them saying, look, you've prepped for our game this way. We take it out and take you out, KZ. Double down live, and Passetto found outside. Perez and Flastry fall immediately after by Felipox. SDK comes off his drone, and all of his friends are dead.
Like the friend that logs in slightly too late for gaming night and everybody's gone. A flawless is KZ drops.
Tested, you can very quickly swing your way up blue. It's a known flank. You can get there from the top immediately, KZ. Knew that a flash was coming, and it heralds a fight, but it also heralds the movement in towards the site. They've found themselves nobody, and they're going to stick the plant itself, tucked around by the quad wall, waiting for an appearance of them, but FURIA too little, too late. There's trade-outs that drop down, but now suddenly it's 40 seconds, and it doesn't matter where the flank is. They've got 2 bodies. Perez and Passetto, all that's standing, and now just Passetto trying to lock it down as they creep their way through the middle of the site. He's doing his best, gets one. Gets the spraying cord out, though. A good and valiant drive is unfortunately met by a FURIA reinvigorated and reapplying themselves. I said it before, probably going to have a timeout. Play the destruction onto the mirror position. There's more time, there's more waste, there's more watch on towards the fight on the hatch itself. Herds, aggressive position, but he wins it out. They lose Flastry. They lose any of that vertical cover. It is now a flat lateral push, and if FURIA find out about this, which they do, they rotate their way up. It's being pinged, but what do? 20 seconds. You have to send somebody to go for it, but KZ beats them out, and now it is just Passetto left, and he is forced back and further away, as is. That shot gets thrown out, and a third. They're truly going to play with that swing, and there's the swing covered, but cannot get the connection. JB92 and Nade both take a lot of damage. Passetto with the kit drives his way up, and he just wants to tuck on that desk. As I said before, there's still pressure and a hold here. 25 seconds. If this doesn't land, the round will collapse for RazaH. They have the first body. They have a second as well, as they're going for the retake round the back, but it is only Nade that gets one out before he's traded for Leapbox. All that is left. He's around the side of stock. He's got a long journey to make, and that was a great systematic lean on their great defensive stat before SDK. Caught out by JB92, and there's KZ finding Perez. Just proposing position. Pinch. Passetto is in tricky situation if FURIA realize, and there's the swing that Hertz gets locked in. Live finally makes a way in. The other players on the roof right now. Oh, no, they're not. They're dead.
Go prone, probably. See if he can find the head. There you go. Oh, but he's feared by the FNAT. That's going to make things a bit awkward. But still wins out the fight. And that's crucial. Now they have to start rotating back.
Now he's looking for a second engagement here. He's trying to just
try and isolate Perez.
There's the cut across. There's the fight. Nade tears Perez's head off. 50 seconds, and the tool hold is starting to shake, starting to quiver. And with STK getting KZ, well, importantly, they win out the back of this approach. Now it's going to have to be very direct here from FURIA. They don't have the glass to sort of operate and picking them as they flee. They've got some space to play around with. At this point, though, how are they going to try and drop into the engagement? You know, the goo mines, the Fenrirs might be able to slow some of this approach, but as we've seen, a lot of that is actually displayed and baited across the top 2 stories here. 20 seconds, and it's just going to turn into a drop and a fight. And, well, they're eyeing up the soft hatch on the vault, and Live is below it. Gets can't find either. Nade had the cover, but 9 seconds. And all they have to do is hide, wait, and bait. Will they even make it to the site in time? SDK can't get the down on 1, but 2! And he runs around SDK! That jiggle, that fight, that approach Live on the door. He's sort of making his presence known and not suffering on it. Flastry gets KZ. They're pulled into the engagement. The impact does a bit of damage, but they cannot find the route through. The mirror window gives some of the game. There's one for JV92. There's the trade out, but they're locked down, and again, a handful of seconds. The long watch from FURIA nets a reward. They're able to get themselves in, but what else can you do for Leapbox? Nothing, because it's just not given to you. RazaH, 2 in a row.
Perez, once again, finding himself in the archives. This time, Shadow hasn't given away yet.
They're concerned about a rotate underneath, and KZ gets the first, and now, well, he's caught that rotate, and he's going to try and catch the players itself a minute. They have that opening body, they have their second, and they're throwing themselves in towards the back. Basetto gets one, there goes SDK, Live finds one, and Perez fights his way back in, but can't get the corner, can't get it. And Live has a choice, has an option. And he's opted to, unfortunately, find himself in the middle of an engagement. JV knew he was coming. And what might now come next. They're getting their coverage in. They're trying to blind it out, but the C4 is not linking its way through.
Fire.
They're downed. And it's a post-plant situation. Slipped away from RazaH, slipping away steadily and steadily as they go for the rotate, and the fire burns. But JV92, he knows what he has to do here. It is wait, and it is bait. There's one. There's 2. Flastry, all that is left to keep RazaH in the upper bracket, but they're all around him. They're experienced. They're locked in. FURIA confirm themselves as our first upper bracket finalist at SI 2025.
But it's just a podium team, baby.
I mean, as I said it before on the first map, we only really had KZ in the positive from the side of FURIA, and this is what I mean by a world-class team showing up. 2 players, 90% cost, 80-70, all of them on positive KDs, all of them getting themselves into the entry as best as they can, and all of them with an EPS rating of over 100. Probably one of the only times that's happened this tournament. Here, though, you can see that although, you know, they struggled a bit, RazaH today, doesn't mean they're entirely out of the picture. They're obviously just down in the lower bracket. They'll now have a tricky fight against a potential opponent still being sorted out. But at the same time, you know, they still, as I said, showed great sort of momentum and grace.